CloudDB, shaping your new normal.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending this session on 10 tips on choosing the best Oracle Analytics strategy. My name is Gustavo Gonzalez, and I really want to thank the Asia Pacific Oracle user community and Francisco for giving us, not just me, all the speakers, the chance to share our experience, share our knowledge on Oracle and non-Oracle tools, and providing feedback that can help you and your organizations on moving forward with your professional career, and also give an extra mile to your organizations with the best use of technology. Today, I'm going to be talking about what's the portfolio of Oracle Analytics and how all these different tools, the tools that are available today, can help your organization, and how to choose the best tool given all the things that we have on the market. As I said, my name is Gustavo Gonzalez. I'm a Chief Technology Officer at IT Convergence and also Oracle ACE Director, Specialty on Applications. So over the years, with more than 20 years running Oracle applications, I've been on multiple roles, from a DBA to developer to a data warehouse administrator. And, I specialized on providing solutions to global and multinational organizations. I co-authored a book on e-business suite. I also was a technical reviewer on Oracle Efficient Applications Development Accessibility Handbook. And I think and promote the value of user groups. I'm the president of Oracle Argentina user group. I'm a board member and former president for 2 periods of a Latin America Oracle user community. And also, I'm board member of the Oracle Applications and Technology User Group. It's one of the biggest groups in North America, Oracle user groups in North America. Now, as I mentioned, I work for a company called IT Convergence. And the company, what it does is takes its own medicine. So I'm responsible of running IT and having Oracle technology deployed globally. But also, I'm wearing 2 hats, helping customers to use and do the best use of Oracle technology. IT Convergence is a company that provides consulting services, upgrades, implementations of e-business suite and Fusion applications. But not only that, we do managed services, we do hosting, and also development services, and development that are on Oracle applications, our technology, and non-Oracle technology. We do analytics, testing, training, and automation of that through robotic process automation. We have 2 data centers where we deliver what we call right shoring, which is nearshore and offshore, in India and Argentina. And we have been helping hundreds of customers since '98. That was the foundation. I joined a few years after when the company was established, and I'm happy promoting what we can do for you and your organization. Now, let's talk about from a product overview. So, what are the things that are happening today in the analytics space? And if you have been working with organizations, or if you are working with data, what are the main struggle is with how to get the data to get the right information at the right time. Now, 81, this pie chart, and that is from IDC, summarize the struggle with the data that fits all the organizations and everyone. It's because you spend over 80% of the time just dealing with the data. Find data, getting data from any source and different sources, preparing the data, combining the data, and securing the data. So all that, which means that you leave little time left to analyze it, which means it's happening where the business and all of this is happening when the business is constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly producing more data. So, and also priorities are changing. Like the last year, these two past years that have changed everything, right? So today, organizations just don't have time or resources to deal with the data struggle, but unfortunately, they are, right? Now, that is today, and this is going to resonate across all these presentations. Now, what is happening and how Oracle is helping customers with their products today? Now, if we think about this as the portfolio, I will start with Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition and Oracle Business Intelligence Application. This is a pretty strong and very well-established product available with across the world on many organizations. And Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition came from an acquisition of Siebel. Now, with that, one of the things that we have seen is a constant evolution of OBIA. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But Oracle Business Intelligence applications building and bringing a pre-built data set for multiple sources. And one of the things that happened to me implementing Oracle Business Intelligence applications was that a customer that was on eBusiness Suite 1 version that was 11.5.9, and they were starting to plan their release 12 upgrade. So we implemented OBIA, and then we just changed the source, and automatically everything was pulled from the new tables, the new columns, right? So that's the beauty of when you're having a pre-built data set with someone that knows the source of the data and knows the source on the changes that are happening on the source of the data. We have another aspect, which is more on the technology side, which is the Oracle Analytics Server. The Oracle Analytics Server is the evolution of Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition, the technology server, bringing and bridging the gap between OBIA and Oracle Analytics Cloud. So you can have on-prem, I will cover that in a few slides, but you can cover that on-prem and having pretty much the same functionality that you have on Oracle Analytics Cloud, but running it on-premise. Then we jump into the autonomous data warehouse, which is the evolution of the Oracle database, thinking towards data warehouse with a self-driving database, right? It's fast, it's easy, it's fast, and it's elastic. We'll talk about that. Then we have Oracle Analytics Cloud, which is the evolution, the product in the cloud of OBIA. It looks pretty similar, but it has way more benefits in terms of feature reach. And of course, the agility to being in the cloud with multiple releases and multiple features, and the adoption of AI, ML on top of that, giving you the ability to expand beyond of what you had in mind with with OBIA EE. Then we're going to jump into more of the applications and enterprise performance management, EPM. It's a financial management solution that it's a suite of products that allows you to go beyond the typical analysis. It's not only just reporting, it's reporting plus the ability to manipulate the data, to enter data, to make it even richer, and to consolidate from multiple sources and to present, and we're going to talk about that, but very rich in terms of capabilities. And of course, it's on the reporting side, it's on the analytics side of things, but it's way more than that. Then we have the Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence. And I mentioned this in my previous session, talking about Fusion applications and my journey of it coming from e-business suite and moving into Fusion applications. Oracle Transaction Business Intelligence, it's plugged into Fusion applications. It's inside the SaaS, okay, with 9,000 plus reportable data objects that the user can easily drag and drop to create a report. And we'll talk about that later on. And the last is a product that, well, it's probably the newest product from Oracle. And when I mentioned about OBIA, Oracle Business Intelligence applications that was able to source from multiple systems, JDLs, PeopleSoft, EBS, even SAP. Fusion Analytics Warehouse, which has embedded all the technology that I mentioned, such as Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse and Analytics Cloud. It also gives you a pre-built data set pulling from Fusion Fusion SaaS, Fusion applications. And we'll talk about that in a few slides. Now, this is the, kind of like the summary of what I'm going to be presenting. Now, let's jump into Oracle Business Intelligence applications. And for those who never heard of this, well, it's a suite, okay, that has, a business intelligence server, has a presentation layer, and has all this, all the backend and the tools to pull from multiple sources and to model that in the BI server. It has this connected analytics. It has a Microsoft Office plugin that you can run right out of Excel reports. Now, Oracle Business Intelligence applications has all these pre-built, extensible, and role-based solution, which means that it comes with the ETL, with the extract, transform, and load already mapped in the application. So you can select which source you're going to be pulling from, and the RPD, or the repository, has all the semantic layer, has all the the business names, and I'm pointing towards automatically towards the data, and the source data. Of course, there's when we talk about ETL, there's the data warehouse, and all the data marts that are built, and the star schemas that are pre-built from Oracle. So basically what you do is you source from any system into this data warehouse. And then on top of that, as I mentioned, you can pull it from any source, right? Now, I'm talking about this and giving the experience, there's a, metadata. In some cases, we have done this of, having Oracle and Discoverer for those customers that are running Discoverer, being able to map that and have that data warehouse, that ETL, running and feeding the data. Now, what are the typical deployments today of Oracle Business Intelligence applications and Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition? you have a complete on-prem, an OBIA on the cloud with the on-prem source, and also this hybrid approach of, okay, I have data integrator, a database as my data warehouse, pulling from my SaaS applications and reporting on Oracle Analytics Cloud. So these are different options that are available today, and you can think of. If you're running OBIA, these are things that you can work and present and discuss with your architect. Now, what's the support on this? We can see that Oracle has extended some releases. There is a statement of direction, but what is most important here is the certification that happened this year on Oracle Analytics Server to be the next step for Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. Now, what's the next step? And when I mentioned EPM, I was actually talking about enterprise performance management, which allows you to connect all planning, which means a long-range planning to bottoms up budgets and forecasts, and line of business planning, incorporating the best practice, profitability, and costing. When talking about close with confidence, we're talking about consolidation and close process orchestration, account reconciliation, tax reporting, and disclosures that are available right there on this tool. Analytics and reporting is probably one of the most important aspects of this suite, which allows you to collaborate with narrative reporting, interactive dashboards, regulatory and XBRL feelings, everything out of this suite. And then all the embedded artificial intelligence and machine learning that are making this, giving you the ability to have an intelligence process automation, NLP, which is natural language processing, being able to have digital assistants that you can ask and say, hey, what's my revenue? What's the cost for this particular line of business? What's the product? So all these being done through a very simple natural language processing. Now, of course, EPM is the evolution in the cloud for the EPM on-premise, which is Hyperion. So here you have, very important for those customers running Hyperion, the premier support that is ending this month, and a new release, which is 11.2, that has been available for quite a while, and it will have a support until 2030. Okay. Now, what we see on this, and what are the difference between the EPM on-premise versus the cloud? We see many customers that are, and we actually have a few customers that move Hyperion to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, which means I have the same Hyperion, the same EPM that I have on my servers, moving to a cloud vendor, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Now, if we compare the Hyperion that with EPM, there's 3 or 4 main aspects. One is hardware, of course, your TCO, the IT charges, all the costs related to the maintenance, upgrades, etc. The upgrades, all, as I mentioned, keeping up with the support. But what is more important is the innovation. And I think innovation in this case, it's all the features, all the functionality that is being presented on a regular basis for EPM that will get you will allow you to have the best of the product right away. Now, let's jump into transactional business intelligence. So for those who are not familiar, are not on Oracle Fusion applications, one of the things that big difference from Fusion applications to other ERPs like eBusiness Suite is that in eBusiness Suite, you had access to the database. You had access to objects on the database. Fusion applications, you just have query only to the objects, okay? You cannot perform. You can pull it out and extract from Fusion applications, but everything is done through BI Publisher. And one of the things that Oracle has done was this layer of BI view objects, which are transactional, and that is pointing directly to the Fusion applications database. Oracle also, on top of that, created a common semantic model, which is the BI foundation for prepackaged dashboards and reports, some embedded analytics, and the ability to do self-service reporting. And one of the things that everybody and every organization is trying to do is to head into go after a self-service query, being able to have citizen developers. And Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence is actually making that happen. We see real-time insight of all the SaaS modules, and more, as I mentioned previously, more than 9,000 reportable data objects, which are divided in functional subject areas, which makes sense to users. Like we're talking about, we're talking about payables. We're talking about payables invoices, and you have in folders, you have all the fields that are common, so you can easily get vendor information, amount information, dates information. So all of that organized in a very user-friendly way, and then giving the ability to the users to drag and drop from these functional subject areas. And with just a matter of a few clicks, create a report, create a dashboard, okay? And what is important is that this is not pulling from a data warehouse. This is pulling directly from a transactional database, which is real-time data. Couple of examples here, and this is pre-built material. This is pre-built material. So here is receivables information. This is what comes right out of the box. What you see here is on the top, you see the subject area, and that is payable invoices. But you see how the folders are organized in a very user-friendly way. So you can pull up that folder and drag and drop in columns that you want to add into the report. Then you have, as you can see, you can have many things, such as being able to format, create graph, create a compound layout with adding multiple reports. You can add parameters, you can add filters, very rich and user-friendly. And if you look into this, it's very similar to Oracle Analytics Cloud, right? It has pretty much the same look and feel of Analytics Cloud, but again, pointing directly to a transactional database. What are the benefits of this, right? Real-time reporting, seamlessly, so you are inside Fusion applications, so you are not going out. And the one important thing that to me was very allow us and our organization, we're running Fusion applications internally, we're using OTBI. One of the key aspects of this is security, how security is done based on the setups that you have on Fusion applications. So whether it's based on the role or based on the data access that I have, when running a report on OTBI, it's automatically based on the security that I'm running. So that's very important. Let's jump a little bit more technical into, Oracle Analytics Cloud, Oracle Analytics Server, or Oracle Analytics for applications. So these three things Oracle Analytics Cloud is the suite, is what I mentioned to you before, Oracle OBIA, but transforming to the cloud. It's completely Oracle managed, so you don't have the ability to install or change that. But it's, it has a lot of tools that allows, you to run, a day-by-day mobile, which is a feature that allows you to run mobile and create dashboards that are specifically designed for mobile. Natural language generation, connectors to cloud and on-prem. You can run a business suite and you can have Oracle Analytics Cloud pointing to a business suite. When talking about natural language generation, is the ability to have narrative reporting, being able to see your sales are going up, being able to read, have the information more user-friendly. Then we have the analytics server, which is installed on-premise, managed by the customer, or if you want managed services, but you run, you install, you implement that. And as I said before, it has some components that are very similar to Oracle Analytics Cloud, and but it runs on-prem. For those customers running Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition, it has no cost. You can install and implement Oracle Analytics Service on that. And then finally, Oracle Analytics for Applications, which we're going to talk this now, which is this prepackaged analytics for Oracle Cloud apps. What this means is that you have the Oracle Fusion applications, ERP, HCM, supply chain management, and customer experience. And you can even have more than that. And then it's going to be using the Oracle's Autonomous Data Warehouse, pulling data from these sources and pre-packaged extract, transform, and load into Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse from Fusion applications. And then on top of that, all the semantic layer of Oracle Analytics Cloud to be able to run and get Fusion ERP analytics, HCM analytics, et cetera, and even extend with more data sources. 3 key differentiators here. Maximize the value of your cloud ERP, HCM, faster time to value if you want to build on top of Fusion applications something from scratch, and also be able to extend to fit your business with other sources. Now, this, because it's new, let's talk a little bit about this, right? And what typically happens with building from scratch to something that it says package analytics is that if you go to the pie chart that I opened up this session, all the data extracts, all the data management, all the creating the KPI dashboards and reports give us only just that 20% for analyzing. Well, if we go into Fusion Analytics Warehouse, it just turn on, configure. It has a pre-built data model, a pre-built data pipe, Oracle Cloud ERP, and a pre-built package for KPIs, dashboards, and reports that we can start analyzing it very quickly. It is fast time to value, okay? That is what we see. And then we can even extend that, creating our own custom KPIs or with a pre-built data model to your data. This is what we talk on business intelligence, is the value below the surface. We have pre-built key practice, KPIs, pre-built dashboards and report, and a pre-built data model, which means faster time to value and lower total cost of ownership. Now, what it takes to implement Fusion ERP Analytics, it's pre-built and extensible. And when we talk about what is coming out of this product, well, it's monitoring business performance. You can see there, it's a KPIs, with a lot of information in terms of how you can monitor your system, with alerts, with comparison between your value to target, the trend, a rich visualization, and then you can also have social with discussion threads on that. These are some of the KPIs that are available on this. And also there's a new feature called decks, which is kind of like, okay, give me the summary of the information. We see many committee meetings, staff meetings that are being run through decks, with all the key elements. And with decks, you can drill down and you can filter the data to discuss about in a specific line of business or in a specific product or in a specific region, all the information available there. This is what you can see here. It's pre-built content that it's available there. Now, if you want to monitor to deeper insights, actually, you're going to be clicking in on some of the components of the deck and being able to visualize the data in this format. Now, when talking about KPIs, we're talking about how we can, just hovering the mouse on top of the charts, we can see more data, we can see trend. We can leverage machine learning to detect relationship between KPIs to deliver alerts. So that is, what you can get out of Fusion Analytics Warehouse. Personalizable KPIs, machine learning driven, either metrics, relationship detections and alerts, benchmarks against other companies, and of course, a built-in collaboration capabilities to be able to, okay, check this out. We need to do an adjustments on these regions, and etc. Also, you can see here aggregating analytics with the ability to drill down. As you can see here, retention and calculates top talent composition trends. What is the risk? We have also notifications, being able to, alert. Instead of you going after the data, having the system to notify when there is an alert, what is something that you need to, take action on. The other aspect, which is key, is how you can have multiple areas. We have HR plus finance data on this, and you can see cost and profit per employee. So we have on one side, profit and financial data, and cross that data with employee, whether it's headcount, payroll cost, etc. So everything having, in consolidated as KPIs in Fusion Analytics Warehouse. So here you see, some of the aspects, and this is, a navigation, which I typically like to do in terms of, how you go through the different decks, how you can, navigate through the decks and the data. You can, see that what's the balance sheet and all the information available there, what's the payable information, etc. So these are some of the things that you can do, and you can even tailor that. What that means is I can go into a net income analysis, I can select data, I can move that data into a quick visualization, and the system will provide, what are the different aspects that I can show, low values. Again, very rich information, very, giving you the ability to tailor the information for your needs. Now, when talking about extending, you can also build and extend for your own source of data. whether it's out of Oracle, it's even non-Oracle. You can pull in from social media, anything, right? Pretty much anything. And that is something that, you kind of have what is Oracle managed, which is on red, and what you manage. Now, because Oracle, the Fusion Analytics Warehouse, prepackaged for Oracle SaaS, ERP, HCM, it's using Autonomous Data Warehouse and it's using Oracle Analytics Cloud. You can have your custom ETL and load that into a custom schema on ADW and have your own custom semantic extensions and KPIs and dashboard custom on Analytics Cloud, which allows you in a certain way, have everything consolidated on the same tool with the ability to keep this separation. Why this separation? Well, it's because every Fusion Analytics warehouse, it's being maintained by Oracle, which means that you can every time that there's going to be a new release on Fusion applications, Oracle Fusion Analytics Warehouse is going to have an update, and it's going to be in sync with Fusion applications. Now, of course, what is going to happen is with Fusion Analytics Warehouse, you receive a non-production and a production, and it's the Oracle Analytics Cloud and Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse. It comes with the subscription to Fusion Analytics Warehouse. So if you want to extend, you need to go into subscribing to Oracle Analytics Cloud and Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse, which is something that you will have to use for your own. So you're actually basically, if you want Fusion Analytics Warehouse, you're going to subscribe per user. And when it comes with two environments, and Analytics, Autonomous Data Warehouse and Analytics Cloud will come for each user that you subscribe. Now, if you want to create something custom, you will have to do a subscription to Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse and a subscription to Oracle Analytics Cloud with the capacity based on what you're going to be using on that. Okay. Now it's important that for Fusion Analytics Warehouse, it's going to be auto scale, right? When you're using more Fusion applications, it's going to be scaling on that. Okay. But it's going to be it's very simple with this segregation of having Fusion Analytics Warehouse and your own custom schemas. It's going to be very simple for you to the future. Now, just to wrap up and talk about 10 considerations and 10 tips just for your takeaway. Number one, choosing a data warehouse. And autonomous data warehouse is the data foundation for all the analytics at Oracle. It's the world's first autonomous database, which means self-driving, self-securing, self-repairing, and that allows us on the IT to free ourselves from all the manual activities and constraints that we needed to do, matching the demands of the departments of the organization, so our internal customers. So we can, that free up time that we have, we can focus that on other tools. Provisioning, very easy to provision, very scalable, secure, high accuracy, and low cost. Not only performs better than any other offering, but it's also cheaper. We have been exploring to customers benchmarks showing that, and that is something that it's available for you if you're interested You're going to see my contact details at the end of this presentation. I'm happy to share that with you. Now, tip number 2 is, what is the analytics solution? And when talking about analytics cloud, we're talking about the complete analytics solution that can leverage all the data for every type of business role that you have. So 3 levels. Augmented analytics delivers on 2 fronts: data-driven insight, powered by machine learning, and productivity that accelerates time to insights. Governed analytics, secure and extensible architecture, allowing you to be more flexible for business without losing the control. And then self-service analytics that I mentioned this. It's critical for us to be able to free up IT for building all the analytics and having capabilities for every business role, from a data scientist to an analyst to operational users, or even for executives, or business leaders, that they can run and do their own analysis, being able to deliver the information, the right information at the right time. Approaching analytics is agile analytics, and that is from data integration, data management, and data analytics, how you're going to be pushing that towards across them. Then when talking about roles and business users, I mentioned that we have on-cloud ERP, Fusion applications. You have embedded reporting and financial reporting center with things such as BI Publisher, Transactional business intelligence, financial reporting center. Now, if we move into the reporting strategy on the second layer, which means a little bit more planning, you have enterprise performance management with the financial consolidation, narrative reporting. And then if we go to the last role, which is executives, we have package analytics, self-service data discovery, which is more on the predictive analytics, being able to predict, being able to give you that extra mile for making decisions later on. When talking about modernizing, if you're running OBIA EE, you have the ability to, free of charge, or go to Oracle Analytics Server. Now, if you're already upgraded to Oracle Analytics Server, well, the next step is moving towards Oracle Analytics Cloud. And there are many constraints on customers that are not going into the Analytics Cloud because of the data, because of the latency, but it's truly something that you need to consider. And now we have 2 things there. One is, if you are on Analytics Cloud, and you're moving into Fusion applications, how you can leverage Fusion application warehouse, Fusion Analytics warehouse, in order to have a pre-built data set, a pre-built analytics solution that can help you with that. Whenever, in a nutshell, we were able, across this session, to go through all the portfolio of analytics products that are available from Oracle, more on a strategic perspective. And what are the things that you can adopt faster? What are the things that you can leverage today within your organization? What's the roadmap of your product, and how you can evolve in your journey to the cloud? If you want to see more information, there are some documents available. And if you want to know more, just feel free to reach out to me directly. Here's my email, my Twitter account, and my LinkedIn account. I'm happy to help you with any questions that you may have. Again, I want to thank the Asia Pacific Oracle user community, Francisco, and the entire team of all the user groups that are making this happen. Thank you very much, and hope to see you next year at the event. Be safe. We'll be in touch. Thank you very much.
CloudDB, shaping your new normal.